What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I have been getting a lot of requests to try Darkstar Sharon Rogers against Knull. Can she clear Knull? Well, the answer is yes, she can, but you're really going to be a lot better off with the Starlight armor. It's just way better, and I'll explain why. The Darkstar uniform, as cool and aesthetically beautiful as this uniform is, right? We got this uniform a long time ago. One big difference between this uniform and the Starlight uniform is this uniform has chain hit damage by 10% when attacking, whereas the Starlight has 20%. So you're getting an extra 10% chain hit damage. That makes a big difference. Another big difference between this uniform and another reason why it's so strong is you actually can land your damage proc consistently on your 4th skill combined with the 5th skill and on your tier 3. And you get a lot of extra residual damage from the 5th skill when you do this thing. Whereas with the Darkstar uniform, it doesn't work out that way. A lot of times when you do the 5th skill, it will trigger the proc, and what you're really initially wanting to do is you want to get the 5 and the 4 combined, and plus the 4th skill on this uniform has terrible targeting. It misses a lot. Now with Knull, when he's right in front of you in the first phase, it's not a big problem, right? She'll always hit him, when she does her 4th skill. But after that first phase, she will start missing, and it becomes very evident when you start playing with her, and that just means you lose a lot of damage. Doesn't mean she can't do it. She absolutely can, which I will show all of you. And another big difference is in this uniform on the 4th skill, on the 5th skill, you get a critical rate increase by 25% for 7 seconds. Well, with the Star Knight uniform, you get 35%. So you get an extra 10%. It lasts a second longer, and you get a heal. Now, the recovery, honestly, really isn't that good on this uniform. It's okay. It's decent. It's better than nothing. I wish it was like 20%, but it is what it is, right? It's still a lot better than what the Darkstar uniform has. And something to note is this uniform has 41,600 energy attack, whereas my Darkstar uniform actually has 42,400. So we actually got more energy attack with the Darkstar uniform, and that's because of the uniform options. I just have better bonuses, and the uniforms are just leveled up, so it's giving me extra energy attack. As far as my stats, 125 attack speed, 42 crit rate. We do get that buffed up by 25% in this uniform, which puts us up at 67%. And then we get max critical damage, max normal defense, max heal cooldown. And, she does have Mythic Urus. I do have 83% energy attack on my cards. These cards are not crafted. There's no pierce, nothing like that on these cards. Now, I don't think this is going to be a really good uniform for a lot of people to play. To be perfectly honest, it's definitely not an easy uniform to play with, especially against Knull. We have a fully awakened overdrive set, and we have a CTP of energy. And like I said earlier, when you play with this uniform, the idea is, you have to hit the 3rd skill to take damage. So you can accumulate damage and deal more damage. This is the same with all of our uniforms. And 3, and then you just want to hit the 4, and then boom. The thing about hit the 5. The thing about when you hit the 5 is you have to let it play out. A lot of times when you hit this 5, that damn thing, you see it doing hits, it will trigger the proc. And what you really want is you want the 5, and as soon as she shoots out the ray, boom, then you want to go into the 4. That's when you do the most damage, when you get the proc combined with the 5 and 4. However, a lot of times that damn 5 will trigger the proc. So what I like to do, in all honesty, guys, is I pretty much just face tank Knull with Sharon, and I just go 3, 5, 4, and that's it. You can, like when you land the proc on the 5, you can let the 5 play out if you want, but really most of your damage is going to come through your tier 3. And when you do your tier 3 in any of her uniforms, or her base skip, when you do the 3rd skill, you get the maximum amount of accumulated damage automatically, as long as you do the 3rd skill before you do the tier 3. So as long as you hit the 3rd skill and then do the tier 3, you'll get the maximum amount of accumulated damage. So you don't have to worry about when you do your tier 3. It's really prior to that, when you're just running through your skills, is when you need to worry about taking damage. And she will do good damage in this uniform with her 5 and her 4. Without her tier 3, she will. But it's not very consistent because the proc triggers in oddball places. So what I like to do is I just go 3, 5, 4, I try throwing the 2-1, 3-5-4, 2-1. And what I'll do is, when the tier 3 is ready, in this uniform, so I get the max amount of crit rate. Now, if your crit rate's maxed out, you don't have to do this, but because mine isn't maxed out, what I like to do is I hit the, well, let me build up my skills first, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think that'd be a lot better. Here we go. Okay. All right. And let me show you what I do. So what I like to do is, because the 5 will trigger the proc, there's a small gap when you do the 5 at the very beginning where she won't do any hits. So you want to go 3, 5, tier 3. I'm sorry, 5-3 tier 3, right? 5-3 tier 3. That way you get your critical rate for 7 seconds. You get that extra 25% critical rate. You go into the 3. That way you'll get your maximum accumulated damage before you do the tier 3. And it works out pretty good. You're actually going to do some pretty insane damage. And I already took this girl in stage 2 with Cyclops leadership with this uniform, getting the 35% increase all attack and the 30% energy attack from his passive. And you can see, we're down to the last phase of Knull, and we're doing stage 2, and we're just going to end up running out of time. And a bad thing about Sharon Rogers, no matter what uniform you have, is she doesn't have invincibility in her tier 3. So you have to wait for Thor to bring down the hammer before you can run into your skills. And, I'm just running out of time. I do have a little time to get that tier 3 off. I hit the 5 and the 3. Then the tier 3, right? And the proc came, and just, not quite there. You can see, we got down to under 2 bars. I mean, it definitely could be done. But, again, I count with 80% energy attack, and at times, I do get an extra 20% energy attack proc from my cars. That's 100% energy attack. It just isn't real feasible, honestly, to use the uniform. Of course, she still has a CTP of energy, and her uniform is at Mythic. And we do get some extra dodge here. We got max amount energy attack. Here we got some low HP, extra dodge from Punisher here, and we got max energy attack. And this is why I have more energy attack, because both my energy attack options are fully at Mythic. So in this run, we're going to give her a little bit more OP team to make sure that she can get it done. Let's rock and roll. So we're going to be using Captain Marvel's leadership, the 30% increase of energy attack, and we're also going to be using Valkyrie for the 50% damage out of supervillains and the 30% ignore dodge. I do have 2 ignore dodge strikers up there, and I also have some ignore dodge from the CTP of energy, so it's pretty much maxed out. We have Arachnite and Ancient One for the damage out of supervillains, and Ancient One will also debuff. And then we have Venom for the heals, and you absolutely need heals when you're playing with this uniform for Sharon Rogers. And you just saw the damage. It was some pretty damn good damage. A little tidbit to know about when you're playing with this uniform is make sure that you're right up against Knull before you do your tier 3. If you are at just a little bit of a distance, I mean like a character distance away from Knull, your tier 3 will get interrupted. It'll get it canceled. You will not be able to use it. See that right there? We were pushed back a little bit, right? Sometimes the Fisco will kind of push you back a little bit. And when you do your tier 3, it won't engage. You got to make sure that you are up against Knull. And that's really the thing that I noticed when I was playing with this uniform. As long as I did that, at least during this phase, it wasn't so bad. But after this phase, it gets a lot easier because her tier 3 has okay targeting. It's not bad, but her 4 definitely misses a lot. Very annoying skill. But you see right there, we finished the first phase in 1 minute and 15 seconds. Not bad. Pretty good, but again, it's just stage 2. We are using, a decent leadership in Captain Marvel, and we are using Valkyrie. But I really did, think the cancel 5 into the 3 into the tier 3 is a good way to go with this girl. Because if you let that 5 play out, I mean, you would do more damage if you could do the 3 and then the 5, and then she shoots out her spear a little bit, right? That little ray that comes out of her spear, and then go into the tier 3, you're going to do more damage. But if you try that using a proc, that damn thing will trigger. 9 times out of 10, it will trigger. And you're just going to lose damage if you do that. So that's why I'm playing the way that I'm playing her. Because I want to make sure I get the proc on that damn tier 3. So I'm going to hit the 5, 3, and then the tier 3. And something else, guys, by the way, is if you don't hit that tier 3 immediately, because she goes into an iframe, if you don't hit that tier 3 immediately, Knull will break your guard. Super armor or not, he will break your guard. And if he does, he'll cancel your tier 3. So you have to be super fast with your fingers when you're hitting that tier 3. You need to make sure you go into that iframe as fast as possible. It's like when you do the 5, sometimes he'll hit you and oh my God, and he'll just completely interrupt the skill and you'll just lose tons of damage. Very annoying. In all honesty, this uniform is actually, I love the uniform. I mean, it's actually aesthetically, it's my favorite. I just love it, right? It's got like a nice medieval dark vibe to it. But the ease of play definitely goes to the Star Knight uniform and really the damage too. The residual damage we get from this fifth skill is nothing compared to the residual damage that you get from the Star Knight uniform. That makes a big difference. Losing that 10% chain hit damage with this uniform, it does make a big difference. But, you know, you can get it done, and that's really the point of the video, to show that you can do this. Players that have less energy attack. So say you have 40% energy attack and you are using Valkyrie or Mystique with Captain Marvel. Or with Captain Marvel, you'll be able to do it because you'll see the time that I'll get this done in. If you have Cyclops and you're using Valkyrie and you're using this uniform, maybe if you have 30% energy attack, maybe even 20%, maybe you could get it done with this uniform, to give you an idea. But it's definitely not the ideal way to go. But as you guys see here, we cleared this in less than 4 minutes. So I definitely could have went higher with this uniform. So it's definitely not terrible. It's actually really good. If you have, 30% energy attack, you probably could get it done. And also I stream on Twitch every single day at 10 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.